Hey y'all, welcome to the Cross Project. Thank you so much for joining here today. I recently had somebody tell me that in the business world, at their business, that they are in the perception business, which meant that it's all about they strive every day in all that they do to make sure their customers have the best experience, that their customers perceive them in a certain manner, in a positive light. And it struck me, it hit me. I'm like, man, that's awesome. What a great statement. So I kept going around and I'm like, hey, telling other people, listen to this statement. In the business world, people are in the perception business. It's all about how ensuring people perceive a certain place in a positive light, so they'll keep coming back, so they'll return and continue to do business with that place. But then as I was driving around, God kind of spoke to me and it hit me, and he's like, Chris, that is a good statement for the business world. However, is that true of us, of people who call themselves Christians, who call themselves followers of Christ? Are we in the perception business? Or are we in the heart-changing, life-changing business? And I'm like, wow, God, that's, man, yeah. But I think too many times, we as Christians, we who call ourselves Christians, followers of Christ, people who we who go to attend church or whatever it may be, believers, whatever you want to classify yourself, I think too many times in our minds we try to be in the perception business, meaning that we try to perceive ourselves in a certain way, in a certain light, whether it be around the people we're at church with, or whether it be around of another group of people outside of church, or whether it be around another group of people at work. Whatever the case may be, we try to be in the perception business, when in reality, we need to be in the heart-changing business. Meaning, if we call ourselves Christians, if we are followers of Christ, if we are little Christ, it has to change. Our lives have to change from the inside out, not from the outside in, not from the head, but from the heart. It's all about allowing the Holy Spirit to transform our heart, not about the perception or the persona that we want to give off to others. And so I was reading in Mark chapter 7, and the Holy Spirit just continued to speak this point to me. In chapter 7, it begins out talking about where the disciples are going to eat with some of the Pharisees, some of the Jewish people. And there's a tradition amongst the Jewish is that they wash their hands before each meal, and that's become tradition and custom amongst them. Well, the disciples sit down to eat without going through the customary hand washing, and they kind of say, hey, ask Jesus, why didn't they follow our tradition? And Jesus' reply was, you hypocrites, Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you, for he wrote, these people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Their worship is farce. They teach man-made ideas as God commands. For they teach man-made ideas as commands from God. For you ignore God's law and substitute your own tradition. You see, verse 6 spells it out. These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Same thing we do. We try to give the perception from our lips that we are followers of Christ. However, many times our heart's not there. Then he goes on to say, gives a parable to an example to the disciples, talking about following their mother and father. And then the disciples are like, hey, I don't quite get it. And so Jesus picks up in verse 18. Don't you understand either? He asked. Can't you see the food you put into your body cannot defile you? Food doesn't go into your heart, but only passes through the stomach and then goes into the sewer. And then he added, It is what comes from the inside that defiles you. For from within, out of a person's heart, come evil thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, greed, wickedness, deceit, lustful desires, envy, slander, pride, and foolishness. All of these vile things come from within. They are what defile you. Now you see here, Jesus is talking about the negative things, the bad things that come from the heart, which is so true. Satan tries to attack us at our heart, at what he knows our heart kind of desires and our sinful nature. However, with the Holy Spirit, with having that relationship with Jesus, it's about relationship, not religion. With having that relationship with Jesus, our hearts can be changed and will be changed from the inside out. Then our actions will reflect that of Christ to make us little Christ, so that we're not in the perception business. We're in the heart, life-changing business. And through our actions and reflecting the love and grace Jesus offers us, others' lives can be impacted. Other seeds can be planted. And this world can become the place of heaven on earth. We're going to continue to mess up. We're going to continue to sin, unfortunately. The world is full of it. But by the grace of God, by God's love, we can have a heart change by following, seeking, asking for the Holy Spirit to come fill our hearts, and having that relationship with Jesus. Our lives can be changed. Our lives will be changed, and we will no longer be in the perception business. We'll be in the Jesus, life-changing, loving, grace-filled business that will get us to heaven. I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you ever need anything, if you would like to learn more about Jesus, more about his grace and love, seek someone out, seek us out, whatever it may be. We want you to be in the life-changing business. Quit worrying about the perception you give off and worry about the relationship you can have through Jesus Christ. Thank you so much. Have a great day.